Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's video is about growing coriander from seeds to harvesting. So let's get started. Cilantro and coriander are two different parts of the same plant called Coriander sativum, and cilantro usually refers to the leaves of the plant and coriander refers to the seeds of the plant, and typically coriander is used, the seeds are used for spices. I am used to calling it as coriander, so I'll call it as coriander. The leaves are called cilantro. These are whole coriander seeds and I got them from Indian store. When you are buying these ones and you are trying to sow them, trying to grow them, then check for the expiry date, because if the expiry date is passed, then the chances of germination is very unlikely. So it's important they are in the due date, then the germination would be ideal. And also do not sow them directly like that. They have to be split into half like this one. So the seed will break into, if you just crunch them, the seed will break into half like that. That's when it is the chances of germination would be very likely. I got these seeds from a store, and the instructions are very clear on this one. It says sow in spring and late summer, where the temperatures are not that hot. When growing coriander seeds, time of the year is really important, because coriander is very sensitive to hot temperatures and extreme cold temperatures. So when you sow the seeds in the hot weather, the chances of germination is very unlikely. And also when you sow the seeds in the colder temperatures, it's unlikely to germinate. So the ideal temperatures for the seeds to germinate is from between 10 to 25 degrees Celsius or 50 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. These are the ideal temperatures. If it's too hot, try growing them indoors with regulated temperatures, keeping them in the under the bright indirect sunlight. Then or direct sunlight is also beneficial, so they will germinate. But do not bring them outdoors once they germinate if the temperatures are hot or extreme cold. You can sow them either in the containers or in the garden bed. I'm using this size container, and it has got drainage holes underneath, so that if the water is in the soil, it drains out. And the soil I'm using is well draining potting mix. I'm going to sow these half split seeds. Just make sure, because this is a smaller pot, make sure they are not crowded. I'm just going to make a small dip here, 1/2 to 1 inch apart, like that. And in each one I'm going to place 2 seeds, 2 or 3. So the reason why I'm doing this is, once they grow, it's easier to harvest. Otherwise, if they are crowded, you kind of don't know where to pick it from. And then cover the seeds with the soil like that. It doesn't need to be that much deep. It's just, like so. You can also soak them overnight to increase the germination rate, but I didn't soak them because I just bought them last week and I know they are in their due date. They're good to use. So now after you do this, just water it so that the soil is moist. And whenever you see the soil is dry, just keep it moist. So the seeds that we have sown now, it takes few weeks to germinate. So for you to have lush and fresh leaves every week, the only way is to sow them at regular intervals, like every 3 weeks or so. Then by the time these seeds germinate, you will have another batch ready to harvest. So that way you can have the harvest throughout the season. So if you can see this stem, this is the main stem, and these are the side stems. So you make sure, and also you see the growth, tiny little leaf coming out from there, that's the new growth. So make sure that new growth is there because after 1 week this will be ready to harvest. If you cut the top bit like that, then it takes longer time for the plant to produce new leaves. So with the coriander plant, you just have to make sure that the side branches are cut. In this case, I'm going to just snip this one and I'll leave this bit. because this will be ready in few weeks. And I'm going to cut this one too, the side branches. And if you can come to this one, it's the same, like, you know, all the side branches should be taken off. This is the main stem, this is the main stem, and this is the side branch or side stem. So I'm cutting this one, and that's matured, and this is the tiny leaf that's coming from there, so I'll cut this one. To prevent them from going into the seed stage, keep on harvesting them as it grows. If you keep on harvesting them, then they grow bushy and you'll have a more healthy plant. So the key for a healthy plant is harvesting. At least once a week, try to harvest the leaves that are older. And when it comes to watering, it needs fair bit of water. So whenever the soil is dry or about to dry, then water the plant thoroughly and let it drain out through the holes, so that make sure the pot has drainage holes. And we are using well draining soil mix, so that way the plant is not overwatered. And when it comes to fertilizers, it's not a heavy feeder, go light on fertilizers. I usually, like every 3 harvests, once I use cow manure, a handful of cow manure, just top it up on the soil, and that way it should be good, because we are growing this for leaves, and leaves require nitrogen, so cow manure has abundant of nitrogen in it, and that way this thrives. Well, that's all about the video, and thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful.